overall view of 2017 for you, how do you feel the year went from? Yeah.
Well, for me, of course, I think the year went just excellent because it seems that in my term, I'm going to continue to be challenged. You know, I had the water crisis in 2016. Then in 2017, I had to deal with my first financial crisis with the cutback of $2 million, you know, already into our budget year. And then leading towards the end of the year, we had to deal with the 2018 budget with over a $3 million shortfall. And I was very pleased to end the year with a 1.5. I think that's our biggest accomplishment. In 17, we held it to 1.5, and we have to work on commercial. Commercial is going to be a challenge for us, so we have to bring down commercial taxes, and that's going to be our challenge. We're all in a slowdown. Even our city is in a big slowdown. We have less people working, so our challenge is, you know, to come up with incentives. So we give a big incentive, of course, to the hotel. But when you think of that, a $15 million structure, all those construction jobs, and then 70 new jobs once it opens, you know, and so that was a big decision of ours to move forward with that. We are going to look for incentives in 18 and 19 to get our people back to work. But when we come up with this new incentive program, we can't forget the private developers, because we did hurt private developers, of course, when you're discounting your lots. So that's why we are not going to continue that program. And we got a couple of unique programs that we're going to announce in January that we're working on. Construction-wise, we're really worried about the slowdown, because if you look, Cornerstone's almost completed. You know, that's been driving our commercial construction. And it was good to see some private developers last year jump into the fray with the construction of Giant Tiger. Mm-hmm. That was 2 local private developers that did that project, so that was good to see. We have Rock Development. Theirs will soon be done with the old Nina Savon Foods. They got 1 space left to rent. So it's important to us that we do something incentive-wise, because once those 2 projects are done, there'll be no more commercial being built, at least in those 2 areas. And so it's important that we prepare ourselves.
That kind of takes us into March and April, and then, you know, we kind of had the summer hit, and the city was faced with, you know, wildfire again, and, you know, kind of tackled had a lot of refugees and evacuees coming down here. And so just, you know, from a city's perspective, what was it like to have to go through that, you know, again in just another couple short years?
Well, one thing we realized is that we have to do a better job in the way that we do a great job once we get them here. But every year we have evacuees, and we seem to start all over again, where now we're going to put checklists together, that things that will automatically happen. We know when they're coming, that they want passes for this and access to this, so we'll do our part. Our process is support, you know, making our pools available, our recreation facilities, and it's up to the Red Cross to do the balance, so it's important to do that.
It's been, you guys had the election in 2016, so it's been about a year and a couple months now with a few new faces on there. So what has it been like to work with some of like the new councillors?
Well, you know, it's my job as the mayor to manage my council staff, but it's been a challenge. We have lots of individuals on council, which is good. You just don't want rubber stamps. But at the same time, you still want to act like a team. Once you get elected, granted you represent your ward, but when you sit in council, you have to do what's best for the city. Well, in lots of cases in the last year and through this budget, there was lots of personal agendas that was frustrating. But at the end of the day, we got past those. And one thing I tell council, and I do this on a daily basis, is if you're going to run, be prepared to take the heat. Because lots of times you take the heat because people don't have the tools or the information you do to make the decision. But at the end of the day, I have a very good core of councillors that understand. I have great veterans on council, and we'll move our agenda forward that's best for the city. Not best for us, best for the city. And then,
you know, let's have some changes in Regina this year. What would you like to see from whoever is going to be in the Premier's chair come the end of January?
Well, I'd like them to know that PA is not a sleepy hollow. And we are the 3rd largest city, and I'm out there with a loud voice. And I campaigned last year that what's the number 1 thing you want to do, and that's the hospital. We need a new hospital, but we also need a new provincially funded hospital. And that's why I believe it's a northern regional hospital, and it should be funded by the province, and we're going to continue that fight in 2018. And so the bridge has taken a back burner. We haven't forgot about it. Don't worry, it hasn't gone away. But the good part is, when you talk about bridges, is you have to give kudos to the province. They did step up. They spent millions of dollars repairing this bridge. They claim they don't have to repair it again for another 5 years. We also have a guarantee from the province that if we do have to do repairs now, it's done at night. We've learned our lessons that if you slow down the traffic during the day, that's when the biggest complaints come forward for another bridge. So I'm focused on the new hospital, but at the same time, we're not forgetting about the bridge. We have a goal to perfection, and we're going to continue to strive for that. Are we going to stumble? Absolutely. Are we going to continue to have hiccups? Absolutely. Are we going to move forward? Yes. And that's the key thing. In 2018, I'm really going to work hard to move the city forward.